back to Chasing the Target. Lots of news coming in from the world of cricket. West Indies winning 3-0 against South Africa in that T20 series. After South Africa beating him in the test series, West Indies coming back well. Shah, the new ICC chairman, which was in the works since a long time. We were hearing that he might become the chairman of the ICC unopposed. The first time ever unopposed Indian elected chairman of the ICC. I mean, that's a big thing. And latest news जो निकल के आई है, Lucknow Super Giants have approached Zaheer Khan as their mentor, and he has agreed to their terms because apparently they're like-minded in cricketing mentality. So, first going to the bigger one, the biggest probably being Jay Shah, unopposed, 15 out of 16 board members giving him the thumbs up. Your thoughts on Jay Shah and like him being the chairman?
Yeah, I mean, this was we were talking about it the last 2-3 months. So, utna surprise nahi tha कि he's going to be the ICC president. I think over the last few months there was indication that he will be the president. I was surprised that there was no opposition. I thought that
Yeah.
you could still have somebody there opposing and contest for that spot. Lekin theek hai, he's been there now. More responsibility. There will be a lot of talk. There will be log bol rahe ki India will be flexing their muscles and there will be bias. Someone like a Pakistan, they will also ask a lot of questions now, especially when he's there as the ICC chairman. Will he be fair? Will he be non-biased? What are his actual merits? Does he deserve to be the ICC chairman? There will be a lot of questions. But yeah, it just depends on what side you're on. I think we'll probably approach it as more neutral until he, takes the position and, see what decision making that he does. We won't really judge him. Let's see. उन्हें जब दिसंबर में I think उसका शुरुआत है, if I'm not mistaken. तो जब
BCCI का जो annual general body meeting होगा अक्टूबर में, he will step down as the secretary of BCCI, and then December में he'll take it up. And Greg Barclay जो अभी current थे, interim जो भी थे, he didn't run again, so he went like नहीं मेरे को बस हो गया, I'm done with the ICC leadership spot. And I mean, that's actually a good question that no one actually came up against him.
It shows the strength of the BCCI and they're a strong committee, and of course वहाँ से कोई अगर बनेगा तो there's more likely. I think that's why if someone did stand against him, maybe they wouldn't be able to compete. Maybe that's how they're looking at it. If you look at it from his secretary terms, I think there's been ups and downs in his terms. Like he ended on a high. Red India winning the World Cup, and I mean some people have given him a bit of credit for that, and the way he's arranged a few things. But there will be questions. He was also the ACC chairman at that time. There were questions in terms of the scheduling. Colombo में रखे थे, वहाँ पे बारिश उतना था. There was a lot of issues there, but they managed to get that tournament done. With this 1 year the ICC chairman, of course there will be a lot of questions. There will be people asking stuff. There will be more criticism because he's not just looking at India now. He has to look at the whole world. And how is he also working with developing nations like in Afghanistan, Nepal, the ones who don't have test status? How is he developing them as nations? Then how does he handle this Champions Trophy situation? How does he handle the Pakistan situation? He can't just look at it from an India perspective. He has to look at it from an international cricket perspective. सवाल तो उठेंगे. देखो, when he makes decisions, we will also ask questions. Other people will ask questions. यही देखना पड़ेगा कि will he be able to handle these tasks, and then we can judge him properly, I think, once his reign starts.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you look at the immediate challenges, what he has in front of his Champions Trophy and how he's going to answer that question. चलो ठीक है, WPL बोल रहा हूँ मैं, Women's World Cup तो UAE में हो जाएगा. His post starts in December. उसके immediate first decision उनका Champions Trophy के around होगा. And I don't know how much say now he'll have in the IPL, right? Because of the ICC will not be interrupting in that. So I don't know how much say he'll have there. Then there's the WTC ka venue. Will there be any interruptions there? कि भाई खाली England में हो रहा. Will he want to bring it to another location? As a lot of people are opposed to just it happening in England. So I mean, उनके immediate challenges भी काफी हद तक हैं कि Champions Trophy. So that's the most looking forward to now how that thing happens. Will they take it out of Pakistan completely, or do it locate in the UAE or a more neutral location for everybody? So I mean, again, he does have certain background in the Cricket Association handling. He was a part of the Gujarat Cricket Association in 2009. Then he became the secretary there. Apparently, he's also been a committee member for the ICC's finance and commercial activities since 2022.
Yeah.
So he basically handles the funds and allocation of the budgets for the ICC tournaments.
Yeah.
So that's also one thing that we can keep into consideration. And then, yeah, he's been BCCI secretary for 5 years now, and he's done. I mean, I don't know how much input there is, but under his leadership in the BCCI, मतलब Women's Premier League का आपका योगदान हुआ, like it came out there. Apparently he played a very big role also for the Olympics to have cricket in it. 2028 LA Olympics mein, Jaisha had a major say apparently, because India's backing was very crucial for the sport to be identified in the list of sport category in the Olympics. So he has had certain milestones that they've achieved. They had a successful World Cup 23 in India as well. So I think these things, all of these things together, has maybe made him an ideal candidate from the board members of Australia, England, and that's where the majority of the members, right? 16 board members, man, their majority is Australia, England members, and he's gotten 15 votes out of that. So maybe he must be doing something right, or at least his unit must be doing something right. But like you said, we'll be looking at a completely neutral perspective. We'll be
Yeah.
looking at
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah, so I think we'll look at it as a neutral perspective as how he balances it. The main thing is you have to make everybody happy. You just can't keep your home nation happy. You have to look at the associate nations, their development. Because if it just comes down to Australia, England, India playing everywhere, and yes, yeah, majority cricket level, but then there'll never be any competition, and then you just have a boring. Like it'll be like an India Sri Lanka series back in the day. We used to just get very bored of it. So,
Yeah.
mere
Yeah.
yeah, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think we like, even if I look at his BCCI secretary term, I can take out negatives from it also. It's not just positive. I mean, positive is that the way he backed Rohit Sharma as captain, the way they selected that team, he had a say in it 100%. But you go back to the 2023 World Cup, I think the lack of visas for foreign
Yes.
fans, that was there. We didn't see that many. We went to a lot of games. India games were full, but apart from that, there was low attendance. I think they could have done that much better. The organization of the Cricket World Cup could have been better. The venues were changing last minute, tickets were on late. I think these things should have been done better. If I look at it from a purely critical perspective, I think that's where I don't think he did a great job. But look, again, there are some things that he did correct, like you mentioned, the way they prepared for that 2024 World Cup, some decisions that he had to take. Rohit Sharma को back करना, हार्दिक पांड्या के साथ,
कोविड में भी वर्ल्ड कप करवाए थे, IPL editions करवाए थे.
yeah,
So
IPL
there
conditions
are,
were
but
like,
I agree. Like there are certain aspects everyone will have bad. So like me
yeah,
and you,
yeah,
we will give time. We will give
but the
time.
thing is, again, he's backed by the most.
Exactly.
He's the
Yeah.
secretary of the most powerful board in cricket. So,
Yes.
even those वो चीज़ें नजरअंदाज हो जाएंगे. And look, if you look at it, if I take you all the way back, let me take you back to 1997. वो पे
Jagmohan Dania.
वो time पे जगमोहन दालचीमा was the first president of the ICC from India, right? And वो time, if you remember, it was dominated by England, Australia at that time, and I think he took over from Clyde Walcott as ICC president, and what time it was difficult for an Indian, and like England had the power. The head of the ICC office was there, and if you remember when Jagmohan Dalmia took the presidency, उसके पास office भी नहीं था वो time पे. He had to work from his hotel. He said, at least give me an office, or otherwise tell your guy to come to the hotel and work from there. So at that time, Indians used to struggle. They didn't have a stronghold in cricket, and the reason why he got there was because of that successful hosting of the 1996 World Cup, वहाँ पे जहाँ पे India co-hosted along with Sri Lanka and Pakistan. वहाँ पे उन्हें अच्छा काम करा, and yes, I'm sure there were negatives from his point of view, but what he's done for Indian cricket, we can't forget that, because that has led to Lalit Modi, that's led to Srinivasan. After Sharad Pawar, all these guys have gotten that power, but it was Jagmohan Dalmia at the start who got into the ICC as an Indian representative, at that time. So I think that is also something we have to look at. And now that India has power, of course, they will utilize. If you remember, at that time, England were utilizing their power. They were bending some rules here and there for their benefit. But yes, he will be questioned, and hopefully he can stay neutral, and then we'll see what happens. उस हिसाब से.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. December mein he'll be taking up his office in December, and he'll be leaving the BCCI secretary role in October in the body meeting, like you mentioned. And Rohan Jaitley, who I think is the son of Arun Jaitley, I'm not confirmed on this, but
Yeah, he is.
So he is the one who's going to take up the position as the BCCI secretary. Ideally, I would have thought it would have been Roger Benny, but I
He's
think
the president.
the president already. Yes, okay. So then that's fine. I mean, let's see अभी कहाँ से रोहन जेटली का cricketing पूरा देखना पड़ेगा, how he got into this. whole thing. But again, देखो, for the betterment of cricket, hopefully that's all we're aiming at, right? And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then there's always more content around it.
And the thing is also, like, for example, like, nepotism rehta, right? But if you look at it, like, from, for example, if you now you have a business, right? Now you have, like, you're running this channel, for example, right? So there might be 1,000 people who are more talented than me. There might be someone more hardworking than me. There might be in everything, but you will come to me if you probably want to host a show or something like that on this channel, because we're friends. So, like, that is, in a way, it's nepotism or whatever it is. But there is that thing, like, for example, if I have a business, and I have an opportunity, I have a son, I would want him, even though there might be someone who is more much more capable, and rightly so. Now the counter argument to that is that it's such a huge position, the BCCI or the ICC chairman. Are you giving it to someone just based on nepotism? That is not correct. That's not right. That is also a very fair argument. So it just depends on what side of the boat you sit on. Like,
For me, I think the only thing that works or has luckily worked in the favor, like you mentioned, for Ajay Shah would be like, chalo, I didn't know this, but he did have a cricketing background. Like in terms of official executive work, he's done GCA, Gujarat Cricket Association. He's worked in the committees there as well. So he has a little bit of backup. And again, things like you mentioned, since you are in such an influential background, things fell into his favor in terms of 2019 से जब इसने
100%.
yeah, so you did, so you can say चलो ठीक है, अब इसका समझ में आ गया, he still at least has, but like with the other Rohan Jaitley's appointment, I too have no idea like this guy, who this guy is. I know his dad, he was the finance minister, like he comes from a reputed background and stuff, but that exactly like you said, which part of the fight are you favoring? And
Yeah, it
yeah,
just depends. It's a tricky line, because you can
yeah,
go step on it and you can go this side, you can go that side also. You can flip flop. It just depends on how you look at it, right?
exactly what Ibrahim is saying. What happens now with the Champions Trophy will be definitely interesting. Does India still continue with their plans of not traveling or traveling? I think then does Dubai come into the factor, or pura khatam kar dete Champions Trophy? Maybe they just finish Champions Trophy now. I don't know.
The
Anything
thing
is,
is,
all options right now are
I
open.
want to see. Look, even if this guy didn't become chairman, I didn't see India going to Pakistan. Okay, I never saw that happening. But now I want to see is, will he keep it as a hybrid model? Will it still be Pakistan and Dubai? I think that is the fair option. If he changes it all to one place, like all to Dubai, then the Pakistan people will fight back. They will talk. They will criticize and everything. So I want to see how he manages that. Us hisab se.
But I think also one thing that he can do for be up role mein ghuste ho, you want to maybe make a good mark. Maybe I'm just saying hypothetically, anything will. Maybe he says India goes to Pakistan. I don't know. It's just gonna be. It could anything could happen right now. So I
His
mean,
father won't allow that.
yes, maybe. I mean, maybe some way they'll always like a way. You never know. But yeah, Rohan Jaitley is the president of Delhi Cricket Board.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's the president. He's Arun Jaitley's son, man.
yeah, like I know. हाँ उसका ही तो स्टेडियम है, मैं तो भूल ही गया.
Yeah,
हाँ,
like
फिरोज
he's the
कोटला की
president.
दिमाग में फिरोज कोटला
Yeah.
ही बैठा रहता है. But yeah, I
How
mean,
he
चलो.
got it? How he
But
got
again,
it?
how much of Delhi cricket have you seen like recently? How good have they been? Like that again shows you like it doesn't make sense, right? So I mean, there needs to be a bit of a catch
I
there. Yeah.
mean, it makes sense if you look at it from, like, the standpoint that, like, Delhi, Bombay, ke, association
हाँ.
wale strong rehte and everything. Us hisab se to it makes sense. But
But
I know
again,
what
that's
you're saying.
the power
Yeah, you're
drive.
saying his credentials, basically, which you absolutely have the right to. That is no problem. So, like, there is no if you're that's not an issue. But Delhi cricket, yes, in the last few years, Fez, they haven't been on that level. I mean, there's been a lot of politics. They've changed captains 7-8 times in the Ranji Trophy. Kabhi unhe Yash Dul tha, kabhi Nitish Rana tha, inhe tha, unha tha. They kept changing captains. There's been a lot of politics in Delhi cricket. And yeah, he hasn't done the best of jobs. I think there has been a lot of issues over there. Their team is also dipped in terms of, like, you see how Mumbai has still maintained that
Yeah,
top notch
that's what
international cricket. Delhi has not been able to do that despite
Delhi
having.
Delhi are not even able to get Virat Kohli back to their own domestic things. Like that's what I'm saying. Though there's nothing to say, but you never seen like Virat Kohli turn back, right? So it's nothing not in their hand. But I'm just saying, like Maharashtra, the reputation that they bring. Nagpur with Vidarbha, we've seen they've been fantastic. Madhya Pradesh also has been good. So we've seen some decent domestic thing, but like like a board person from Delhi doesn't make sense like right now because of the way the franchise and IPL alone, or even if you look at the domestic, it's not good. I would take someone from HC any day.
No.
Now that is nepotism.
Yeah, I
Um,
got it.
Yesterday, we were asking about the Buchi Babu tournaments, domestic tournament in India. First class tournament has returned to Indian domestic system for the first time in 2011. Acha. That's why we probably didn't hear about it. So yeah, I mean that's good. Introducing something that was lost. That's why Shah India is not going to Pakistan. This has come out? I don't think this came out. Did this statement
No,
come
he's
out?
just saying that, but I don't think like even if he was not president, they wouldn't have gone to Pakistan. I don't think they would have gone. I mean,
Uh,
I would ideally love for India to go there and win a Champions Trophy in Pakistan. That would be incredible. It'll be good. Like you lost against Pakistan in England. You go to
yeah.
Pakistan. Of course, you'll have so many fans over there as well. Pakistanis themselves will enjoy the way Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, these guys play,
Yeah.
and they're very passionate about cricket. I think
And
it
I
would
think
have.
they're also very honest with themselves. If you remember that video that was going around where someone was asking, "भाई विराट कोहली अगर PSL में आता तो क्या होता था?" And people are like, "भाई विराट कोहली को PSL में करने को औकात नहीं है हम लोग की." And this and that. They were very honest with themselves. They know
Yeah,
where
and
they
they're
want to
huge
be.
fans. Even like when Dhoni and these guys used to go, they're huge fans of them.
Yeah.
They would love. And Pakistan में बहुत ज़्यादा. I would say like it's right up there in terms of cricket passion. Like they're incredibly crazy about it. Like football का थोड़ा बहुत आ रहा, but it's not as much as India. India is still like you have a bit more football, Premier League and all that, but Pakistan cricket is like life for them. So it would have been good, but again, it's not in our hands. We can't do anything. There's no point to
Yeah,
like.
I mean, just gonna keep like a 2% window open in case December में when it comes time. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess in life, never say never, right? That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
but
ever.
yeah. So that's why I'm just gonna be like 2-3%, maybe to make a huge impact as the ICC chairman. He just reverses everything and he says, "नहीं हम जाएंगे." But again, more oddly, ऐसे तो दिख रहा है more odds are in the favor of it happening in another venue altogether.
If
Though
he
the
makes that decision first, he won't be ICC chairman for more than 2-3 months. In my opinion, I think if he
which decision?
to send to send
अच्छा वैसा है लेकिन I mean it could be a
भाई बाप होता है ये तो मैं ये
strategy,
तो है.
strategy and planning. CT happening in Pakistan will also depend on the renovation progress as they have taken down all the stand in Karachi. I mean, there is an update on that as well that they feel the PCB is very confident and confirm that they will be ready for the
They
tournament.
still
That
have
was
time for that. I mean, look, even in India, those issues are prevalent. If you see, like
yeah,
during the
yeah.
World
Look
Cup
at
and all,
Hyderabad Stadium, man. Look at
yeah,
Hyderabad Stadium. It's
तो
the not
धर्मशाला
the
का भी इशू हो रहा था like during the World Cup and everything. They
team.
in time नहीं हुआ था वो like but they still have time now. What is it like? It's August. They still have time till February to do that. I think वो हो जा सकता. I was listening to one of I think Hashmi sir, जो journalist है पाकिस्तान के, he was saying on a podcast that Mr. Mohsen Naqvi goes like he's going every day to those stadiums and like whether it's night, day, he's going checking वो renovations कितना काम हो रहा कितना नहीं हो रहा तो like he's actively involved in that to make sure
Yeah.
it's ready. But yeah, I think it's now just about whether it'll be a hybrid model or will they shift the whole tournament to somewhere like a Dubai, because I think earlier hybrid was probably the most likely thing to happen. I never thought India was going to go there, but now with Shah as ICC, he can just come and say that nahi pura tournament shift kar do wahan se, like, and that will cause a lot of problems, I think, and cause a lot of debate. I think jaisa
Yeah,
Asia
because if you look at it from Pakistan's perspective as a country, they're putting in some money trying to renovate the stadiums and they're making infrastructural changes and they're putting money right in this difficult time as a country. I'm saying. अब आप एकदम से you're investing in building something and third बोल के आप बोल रहे आपका contract ही चलेगा. So that will be a little too harsh on.
Very harsh. Like आप पहले देना ही नहीं था. अगर आपको ये सब पता था कि like स्टेडियम का इशू है, ये सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न से इंडिया नहीं जाएंगे, ये नहीं जाएंगे, तो फिर आप ICC जो भी वो डिसीजन लिया, they should have never given Pakistan the championship in the first place.
I think it is right now in Greg Barkley, who is the current president. I think before he gives up his tenurity, he needs to.
And I think he has a say because that decision needs to come soon. And and the thing is, I don't think it's fair that आप उन लोगों को चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी दो फिर छीन लो वहां से. At least hybrid model should be the least thing that everyone should agree on.
अगर let's say just for argument छीन भी रहे हैं आप, then maybe you need to like reimburse the infrastructural cost that they've paid. I think
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would.
100%. And but I don't think Chinna chahiye. I think it should continue as the hybrid model. I think Pakistan have every right to host the tournament. And yes, if India are not going, they can play their games somewhere else. But Pakistan should be able to play their games in front of their home crowd because they were been allotted this in the ICC fixture ticker.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Waqar Yunus becoming advisor for 10 days and then resigning and becoming a team mentor for the new One Day Championship Cup?
The shambles, man. Again, like that's the problem with Pakistan cricket. It's all politics. It's all things upar niche ho rahe. I don't understand that. Like he was the advisor, and then this guy's been coach. He's been in and around Pakistan cricket for a long time. But yeah, it just shows that it's not stable. It is a sign of instability. It's a sign of things not being consistent. And yeah, I think you've been assigned a role and then suddenly changing that in 10 days because there was another contract. I don't think that's professional, but that's just my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I mean, again, like that doesn't make sense 100%. I mean, you get national duty, man. Like that's something else. Like okay, you're able to influence the whole country's cricket, and उसके बाद आप ऐसा mentor role के लिए अगर आप जा रहे, then it just shows where your loyalties are lying. वसीम अकरम को भी offer करे थे, I think कोई role, but he said I can't, I'm too busy. But these guys will all come out and then they start shouting. That's what I don't get. Like when
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
getting the opportunity to influence it directly, आप आके फिर आप YouTube में व्यूज के लिए और चैनल्स पे आके आप पुकार रहे हो कि यार ये साल ऐसे खेलते हैं वैसे क्या, तो अब आपको रोल
and
मिल रहा है
plus,
तो आप क्यों नहीं
think
ले
of
रहे?
it this way, like I think in look apne jo the we're big fans of like different YouTube shows and stuff, and we've heard people say ki bhai in log jo rehte like Wasim Akram and stuff. At that time I didn't believe it, but it could be true that like they're outstanding players. They have a variety, a vast profile in terms of cricket. They have a lot of knowledge in the game. Lekin the fact that they are the ones who are last won like a proper World Cup or whatever it is, 50 over World Cup and everything, they want to stay relevant. If the current team fails, it doesn't really harm them. And like by talking and like, so I don't know, they, look bolte bhai hamar ko koi aake पूछता नहीं. I'm sure पूछते like
यहाँ
कुछ
तो
ना कुछ.
नौकरी दे रहे हैं ना, यहाँ तो डायरेक्ट आपको नौकरी दे रहे हैं वहां पे.
So I don't know, like वो भी मेरे को doubts दिखता like when you're in a situation they say कि भाई and I've seen Pakistan players ex-players rip into their team and suddenly their team is in the final. We saw that
Like,
in Champions League.
remember the 2022 World Cup
Yeah,
where
World Cup, yeah.
World Cup कैसा गालियां दे रहे थे, like they were shouting
Yes,
at Babar and stuff, and किस्मत पलट गई. By the end of thing, the way the Pakistani team played the final, I mean Naseem Shah was amazing in that final. बट उसके बाद जो लाइक जीतने से पहले तक अरे अरे बहुत बड़ी बात, हारते की फिर वापस इट केम टू व्हाट इट वाज. सो लाइक दे हैव नो,
That's
they
where you
have
have to look at the structure. I think that's what I have to give credit to India. Like that, they've lost a lot. India in the last 10 years, we get frustrated, they've lost a lot, but they've maintained a system where they can still get that success or they're consistent. Like India, apart from the one Asia Cup that I attended and one T20 World Cup that I attended, they lost in the group stages. Apart from that, they've reached semi-finals, finals consistently, and that shows that there is some growth. There is growth. There's a system that is being implemented. That, like, yes, you might not always win a championship, but there is consistency, and you're still a strong team. Yes, India have more finances. They have more financial depth in terms of investing in the cricket as compared to Pakistan, which is a huge thing, and that is probably another reason why Pakistan are not as consistent. But yeah, like that's why I look at India and say, yes, okay, fine, you might not win a trophy every 2 years, but you are consistent in terms of your performances. Of course, you will have dips, but there is consistency there.
Yeah, 100%. From what I heard, Vakarian did interviews and selection of the mentors for Champions Cup while he was the advisor, as he was handling all cricketer, but so not sure how he became a
Yeah,
mentor.
that's a conflict of interest right there.
Anything is like, I don't know, like you can't, I mean, India, Pakistan, anything is possible. So you never know. You can do 2 roles, 5 roles at once. Who knows? But yeah, you'll just have to wait and see now what news comes out or what excuse comes out from there. But वही है ना कि ex-players को जब opportunity मिल रही to influence their national side and wanting it to become the 90s वाली पाकिस्तान and stuff, जो इतना comparison करते रहते, आके करो भाई. फिर आप क्यों बोल रहे हो कि नहीं हमारे पास टाइम नहीं है, हम नहीं कर सकते and stuff like that. It's easy to sit and आप इंटरनेट पे बैठ के आप गालियां देना, बट ना कब जब you have to come into the mud and face the music, जब कोई नहीं आ रहा, so that doesn't make sense. But let's see. I mean, वो तो बात की बातें. But yeah, Jay Shah, like we mentioned, Unopposed, he starts his tenurity in December. And yeah, he'll be working out of Dubai, I think. I'm not sure yet, but Dubai mein unka office rahenga, I guess. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
good
the
to see
head
an
office
Indian.
is
I mean, at the end, it's good to see an Indian representing the entire cricket council of cricket council and the world, and moving step forward, hopefully in a positive direction. That's all we can hope for, and see कि भाई आगे जाके क्या dramas, क्या highs, क्या lows आने वाले हैं. And yeah, all the best for that. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just 35, man. That's also incredible to see, just 35 when he landed this job. Zaheer Khan Mustafa becomes the LSG mentor. इंटरव्यू भी निकला था उनका कि he is looking forward to it. He and LSG have a like-minded approach towards cricket. And yeah, it's going to be fun to see you. I know you love Zaheer Khan a lot as a bowler. So yeah, your thoughts on LSG appointing him as the mentor?
I was very surprised Mumbai Indians let him go because he was part of that family for a long, long time. He's played there. He was mentor, bowling coach, har cheez, and like he has a great relationship with the Ambani family as well. So I did not expect him leaving the Mumbai Indians thing, but I think in the last few years he's been in and out and all that. And now that he's gone to Lucknow, I think it's a good challenge for him. Naya challenge hai. There will be again. Like same beliefs, I don't know. I just think like acha contract diya honge usko and he accepted it, but they do have a good squad, right? Lucknow have a good team, like especially their playing 11 is pretty decent. They've done a decent job last year. They did not make it to the playoffs, but otherwise they've been in and around the playoff areas since they've started. Them and Gujarat, I think they've been decent franchises. So acha renga. Let's see him working with Mayank Yadav. I think I'm looking forward to that. Let's see like how he manages his workload, what tips Zaheer Khan has for like a Mayank Yadav. And you know that with injuries, sometimes the pace dips, and who knows better than Zaheer Khan? Like he used to bowl at 145, 150 clicks in 2003, and that dipped to like 120, but it didn't change his his reputation as a bowler, his effectiveness as a bowler. He was still a world champion bowler. So I think someone like a Mayank Yadav can reap rewards while working with Zaheer Khan. And I'm interested to see how he also works with the other bowlers there too, some spinners as well, Ravi Bishnoi. Yes, Zaheer Khan is not a spinner, lekin I'm sure he'll have some tips for them too. So like I think it's a good signing from Lucknow's point of view. And from Zaheer Khan's point of view, it's a new challenge, and I'm sure he'll grab it with both hands and try his level best to
Yeah, also,
succeed.
it'll be good to see him working with Mohsin Khan, right? Like left armer and
Yeah, Mohsin Khan as well.
injuries,
Yes,
वो
Mohsin
कैसे
Khan.
subside करूँ and stuff like that. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a good opportunity. अब KL Rahul का देखना पड़ेगा what his thought process is. I mean, the owner is completely behind the fact that KL Rahul is like LSG family का है and हमारा बच्चा है. And देखेंगे, I mean, there's gonna be still a lot of drama awaits 2025. The auction, the retention policy अभी तक नहीं पता. Zaheer Khan is in favor of the retention policy. He said that होना चाहिए. Because again, changes honge and stuff like that. Cricket will be moving forward. It's a
But
continuity
why
process.
wouldn't you want to? Like, I mean, KL Rahul, of course, you have the fact that he got shouted at and everything was ill treated in that thing. But also, apart from that, why wouldn't you want to go into the auction, like, as an
Yeah,
Indian player?
yeah,
Like, I think you have every right to, like, if you see what's happening. I think the fact that that retention thing, you can also increase salary, that might stop players from going to the auction. Or apart from that, why wouldn't you want to go into the auction? And KL Rahul, I think, like, if I'm him, I'm looking at RCB. That's his hometown, home city, the home state. Karnataka is from there.
Hmm.
He can be an icon for them in terms of like be their captain, leader, local boy, local talent, wicket keeper. And then he has the likes of Virat Kohli to bank on, who he has good relationship with. I remember he said in one of the interviews that when he was going through a down patch, it was
Yeah,
Virat Kohli, Anushka Sharma who took him up.
Australia. This was, I mean, they got a good partnership in Australia in the first game of the World Cup. You remember Virat Kohli and KL. Was it World Cup or was it somewhere Virat Kohli and KL won the game for us
In
with a
2023 they won the game. Yeah.
yeah, they won that game, and yeah, that was when that whole that what a partnership wala interview nikla tha us mein. So yeah,
Yeah. And before that, that Coffee with Karan episode happened like a couple of years before, and
yeah,
he was going through like mentally, because he said कि भाई मैं school में कभी suspend नहीं हुआ, expel नहीं हुआ. This was like it felt like that, and that kind of shook him up. So he has a good relationship with Virat Kohli, and yeah, I think again in IPL it's always result dependent, but maybe a franchise like Bangalore, where results are probably not the main thing. I know this is a very big statement that I'm saying, but if you just see like they're not only focused, it's not only result oriented, so maybe it suits KL Rahul over there, and he can, maybe it brings the best out of him as a batsman, as captain and keeper too.
बिल्कुल. I mean, yeah, we'll just have to wait for more news now. Now that ICC के chairman का मालूम हो गया, Rohan Jetli, everything are falling into place. You probably know about IPL very quickly. and probably the Champions Trophy as well. Things are approaching now. I mean, we're coming towards the end of the year very quickly. So let's see what happens there. Other news is that Siraj and Umran Malik Mustafa are not going to be in the Dulip Trophy for the first week. Apparently, they're both ill and they're not going to be able to make it to the first game for each respective team B and team C. So I think Navdeep Saini will replace Siraj, and who was the other guy? For Sandeep or someone. He's going to be replacing Umran Malik in team C. So yeah, I mean they're some suffering some illness and probably are expected to be back
I would
in
have
a
liked
league.
to see him, man, especially like
Gaurav
Umran Malik.
Yadav. Gaurav
Huh?
Yadav. Gaurav Yadav will be replacing
Umran
Umran.
Malik, I would like to see him, man, like with the red ball. I think he can improve as a player if he plays more red ball cricket. Zyada overs agar aap dale to get under your belt, that confidence can come. So I'm a bit sad that he's not playing. Siraj, I think it's okay. Like thoda rest bhi mil jata usko. He's been bowling like crazy over the last couple of years. Every format he's present for India. So I think that's okay. Like if he's sick, let him rest. But someone like Umran Malik playing in red ball, bowling 3-4 days, or like for at least 50-60 overs in a game, I think that would have helped him. But theek hai, like nahi hua to nahi hua. Like if they're sick, they're sick. You can't do anything about it.
Not
So yeah.
controllable, and yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he was also itching to get back right now. He just played the one game in IPL ये साल, जहाँ पे उसको कूट दिए थे हैदराबाद में, and yeah, I think we'll just have to wait and see Umran Malik with इतना pace रख के, like hopefully he doesn't waste out his talent. If he does bowl decently well, maybe a shout in the Australian series. You think for Umran Malik if he can
Uh,
manage to get.
I mean, if he has to go crazy, basically, like he needs to go, and I don't see that happening before the IPL. Where will he play? Like even in Ranchi Trophy, like he needs to break the bank basically, and then they need to give him an opportunity against New Zealand, and then there could be a way. Otherwise, I don't see it happening. But yes, he could go as a reserve bowler because वहाँ पे injuries बहुत होते हैं Australia में. So you can, like, if he works his way and at least find some form in domestic cricket, then they can keep him as a reserve or something like that, and as an option, or they can call him as a reserve if there's injury to the reserves and substitutes over there. So there's always a chance. I wouldn't say no that he doesn't have any chance. There's always a chance when you're going to Australia because wo tour pe injuries hote, like we've seen in the past as well. So he is an option, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be in that first 11 or in that. I don't think he's going on the flight to Australia initially.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, like you said, अभी तो बीमार है, so कब उनकी वापसी होती back into the Indian cricket. Hopefully, let's see. West Indies winning crazy 3-0 in the T20 season against South Africa. Nicholas Puran absolutely smashing it. In the last two T20s, he's gone berserk, and yeah, though it was rain infected because it was I think
13 over का मैच था.
13 over का match था, and yeah, I mean West Indies, they're looking very sharp as always in the T20 circuit. Need to, and I think this time even in the Test series they looked very decent against England. I mean they did lose, but they did make a substantial impact in the second Test, and yeah, they have a certain stars that are coming up like Athenaze and the wicket keeper, I forgot his name, Gutkesh Modi, like we always talk. So yeah, I mean some things to look forward to hopefully for West Indies
Yeah,
coming
South
into.
Africa, man, Risa Hendricks pura khapa diya match, like 9 runs of 20 balls, like in a 13 over game. I know initially it was 20 overs, but if they only played 3 overs, I think then it rained. वहाँ पे भी उन्हें waste करा balls. Then after it rained, they came back. He wasted deliveries. I mean, you can't play that many balls and in a 13 over game and just score 9 runs. Tristan Stubbs did his best. I think he was an outstanding form. Him and Nicholas Puran have been the best batsmen for me in this tournament. Stubbs 40 of 15. He played some cracking shots through the covers, through the offside. I think he looked very impressive. And then Puran came and did what he had to do. Like, in a rain-affected game, you always have the advantage of chasing. But he came first over that last, I think, second last ball. He came first ball of his innings. He smashed a 6, and then he just kept connecting it, like, over square leg. Jo middle kar raha tha. 1-6, I think, was 108 or 110 meters. So he was striking it big. Yesterday, he looked in incredible form, and well done to the West Indies. Again, South Africa experimenting a bit here and there. But yeah, I think Risa Hendricks kind of cost them the game if you have to blame one individual. I don't think that's fair. But yeah, you can't be playing 20 deliveries and scoring 9 runs in a 13 over game.
Now, they're also not they're missing problem. They're not missing what, like you said, experimental phase में 100 class in नहीं होना. That's also a very big
और उनके
call.
बॉलर भी नहीं है, राइट? फैज अगर आप देखें,
David Miller भी नहीं खेला. So I mean, yeah, they don't even have the bowler.
रबाडा, नोकिए,
But one thing that I'm liking is Mark
महाराज, आपका ये चार चार पांच पांच बॉलर जो वर्ल्ड कप खेले उन लोग नहीं खेल रहे, तो bowling also took a hit, right? And this you're trying, Richard Williams was a bit expensive. Bartman got smashed. I know he's done well in the past, but he got hit as well. There's inexperience in that bowling attack, so they are experimenting. When you don't have your front line like five bowlers, then of course they will be
Yeah,
impactful.
also Markram in the last two games, he's been coming and hitting it like quick runs, like 19 of 9, 20, I think, of 12 this match. जल्दी जल्दी मारने की खोज में है to
नहीं,
get
मैं
runs.
उन्हें भी कल अगर आप देखो एंड में 2-3 बाउंड्री मारा इन द बिगिनिंग ही वाज लाइक 4 of 9 4 of 10 like then he started slow again yesterday. I think थोड़ा सा पेस निकालना था. I think the only guy who looked in proper form was Tristan Stubbs in my opinion from what I saw yesterday. I think that Tristan Stubbs was the only guy. Like Markram took a bit of time, few deliveries. When you have 13 overs, you need to smash from ball one, and I don't think he did that yesterday. So yeah, but that's fine. I think they are experimenting. They're trying. Like I said, when your bowling attack is not there, of course there will always be a challenge. And then of course batting too, like you mentioned, Henrik Klassen, QDK is gone. All these players are not there. So of course it will take a bit of time. But from West Indies point of view, I think it's a big positive कि भाई सीरीज जीते, वो भी तीनों मैच जीत गए.
Yeah,
And the bowlers looked in form, the batsmen looked in form. Overall, they've done a fabulous job. Akhil Hussain as well, man. He's been
he's
outstanding in the
good,
power play.
yeah.
One of the top bowlers in power play in T20 cricket. 3 overs, 1 wicket, 11 runs, economy of what, like 3.66. Incredible bowling from him. Those are fantastic figures. And yeah, he brings that control. Along with Moti brings that wicket taking ability, whereas Akhil Hussain brings that control. And in conditions, if the next World Cup is in India, then yeah, he will have a say in it. Even in Champions Trophy, they can pick him in the. I don't think West Indies are there, but yeah, if they were,
Yeah.
then 50 overs. He's an option in limited overs cricket for sure.
Bilkul, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. Like West Indies this year, in certain formats, they've looked good. Even in the test against England, they gave a good fight, though they didn't win. But yeah, they looked like they were trying to fight and get back that West Indies of not old age, but at least somewhere better than what they were in a few years ago. David Malan also announced his retirement from international cricket. I mean, not a very long career. I mean, he's played under what Ian Morgan says, but like if you look at his matches, he's got what like mostly T20 में ज़्यादा खेला उन्हें. He represented England more in T20s, ODIs and Test comparatively lesser. But yeah, I mean David Malan has announced his retirement, so we'll
Number
sort
one
of.
T20 batsman in the world just a year ago, I think, a year and a half ago, number one batsman in the world. Because of him, like the likes of Joe Root and these guys were sitting out. He was, and he delivered. I mean, like his strike rate wasn't that level of Bairstow, Butler and stuff, but he was an excellent T20 player. I think, especially in the last couple of years, Joe England ka rise hua tha, he was a part of that. A lot of bilateral series wins, a lot of success winning the World Cup and all that. Malan was part of that in T20s, and I think he's done an outstanding job. And थोड़ा सा underrated player जो बोलते right, he won't come in the limelight, but also not as long as a career as you would expect. But I think he did a very good job whenever he got the opportunity. And like I said, he was the number one ranked player for a long time in T20 cricket, which you would have not expected at all.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you said, last year won number one, and he was given like last year against Bangladesh also. I remember, I think March में जो series थी, a lot of questions were around his opening slot being taken away as well, right? Like Josh Butler था, and I think Phil Slot, someone came in place of him. So उसका एकदम से slot चले गया. I forgot the other opener also, Alex Hales, if I'm not wrong. Who was yeah, तो उसका उन लोगों का थोड़ा clash हो गया था, and then उसकी position चली गई थी. So yeah, but he did play in 2023 World Cup. He did, I think, get 100 also against Pakistan, or maybe a good score against Pakistan, if I'm recollecting it right. So yeah, I think I mean decent player overall. Did not make much of the time he got, but yeah, in T20s at least something that you can remember him by. But all the best for his thing. Even if I say yes for the start, Shah will be working in Dubai office, but there has been a proposal to relocate the ICC office to Mumbai once Shah becomes chairman. Now, the work from home kind of scene for Shah to look forward to in ICC. So, I mean, like we said, December is when it starts, so we'll just have to wait till then.
Yeah, look, if I say it from like a very neutral perspective, I don't think that's correct. Like you should work wherever the office is, but that's what power brings with you, right? Like that's where I can't really question anything. But if I give my genuine opinion, like the head office is there, I think you should work from the head office. But my opinion doesn't really count, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Again, we're just gonna wait now. It's a matter of time. We can't speak before what's happening, so we just hold our horses and see how things eventually unravel, and then we can take a moment to then probably discuss it. But yeah, I think we've covered, yeah, the Duleep Trophy, like we mentioned. Siraj and Umran will not be playing. Shah is unopposed as the chairman of the ICC. Zaheer Khan, the first bit of confirmed IPL news, that Zaheer Khan will join the Lucknow Super Giants this next year, IPL, as the mentor, leaving Mumbai Indians as their bowling coach, right? Uh, yeah, or technical director, one of these two. Because I think Pollard also is a coach over there. I don't know if he's a bowling coach, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Zaheer had a couple of roles there in Mumbai. He had two, three roles, like
So he
managing
had
director.
company. Yeah, so a lot of big, I think, a lot more on the upper side of the coaching realm. Because you won't see him in the matches, right? Like you won't see him on the dugout that much. You would probably see
Before you
Pollard.
would, I think
Yeah.
recently maybe not, but before you would, yeah. So like, you probably got upgraded.
Yeah, so that's what's been happening in the world of cricket. We've discussed Shah, we've discussed Lucknow's entry point of Zaheer Khan, and what else? We got Malan's retirement. We went to the Duleep Trophy. Now the Women's World Cup coming to the UAE. Fixtures have been announced. Like we mentioned, Dubai, Sharjah, दोनों में इंडिया के मैचेस होंगे. India versus
Because
Pakistan.
squad भी announce हो गया, huh?
इंडिया का स्क्वाड भी अनाउंस हो गया ऑलरेडी. उसमें या शिफाली वर्मा, स्मृति मंदाना, हरमनप्रीत कौर already mentioning that we are going to try and give the fans of Indian cricket another opportunity to celebrate a T20 World Cup. So that's where the captain is eyeing, hopefully, some glory alongside the Indian men's team this year. So it could be at India win two T20 World Cups in a single year.
Yeah, I mean that's hopefully it can happen. I think again India don't go in as favorites like the men's team. I didn't think went in as favorites, but they did win over there. They played some outstanding cricket, and hopefully women's team they have a good now balance between experience and youth. Like you have Mandana, Harmanpreet have played tournaments across the years now, and then you add Richa Ghosh, who's a very exciting talent, excellent wicket keeping batsman. Then you've got Shifali Verma there, excellent young batter as well. So you have a good balance between youth and experience, and hopefully they can challenge. Look, they haven't had the best of preparations. They lost at Asia Cup. They're not in the best of form. Lekin hopefully when the World Cup starts in conditions which are a bit familiar, hopefully India start strong and get into that knockouts. And the knockouts mein kuch bhi ho sakta. When you're playing Australia, of course Australia will be favorites. Lekin you can beat them. It's a T20 game. On that day, if you put in that performance, I think you can beat them. So hoping the best from that perspective. And I'm looking forward to the tournament. I think the women's game has evolved over the years. I remember the first World Cup I watched was 2017. Like properly, I watched every game. The one India lost in the final against England at Lords, was it? I think the finals. It was in England somewhere, where India could have won that chasing, but they lost. And then since then to now, every tournament has got better and better. I really enjoyed that 2022 also 50 over World Cup
Yeah,
in New Zealand. That was very good. Like I remember watching that. India also didn't have the best of performances there. They didn't reach the semifinals, but over the years, it's been a lot of fun watching the women's game, and hopefully this time we see a great tournament and thoda sa close matches and some crazy individual efforts as well.
100%. And yeah, they've got decent bowling attack as well. Renuka hai and Radha Yadav, the spinner that's been making noise. Shanka Patil, all rounder. Dipti Sharma bhi hai. So they've got
Yeah, Rana kahan chale gayi yaar? She was the best like spinner at one time for
one.
India. Sneh Rana.
Sneha Rana. I think injury ho gayi hai, Sharif. I mean, she was there in the WPL. She was.
T20s because she doesn't bat, but as a bowler, she's outstanding. Her economy is always on point, very accurate bowler. But yeah, I think उसको 50 over में ज़्यादा देखते हैं because they need an out and out bowler, whereas here they've थोड़ा सा all-rounder से भर गई team. But yeah, I don't know where she is, but she was really good for India at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it starts on the 3rd of October, a couple of
Yes.
a month and 3 days, 4 days left for the T20 World Cup. Duleep Trophy starts 6th September, so that's the most closest that we're going to get to certain Indian cricket. First game in Chinnaswamy, then the second test onwards. It's all in Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh, where Team C will take on Team D, and Team A will take on Team B in Chinnaswamy. So we'll wait to see that. Pakistan plays their second test in Rawalpindi on Friday, and Sri Lanka versus England tomorrow starts tomorrow. So that's also going to be
That's going to
something.
be fun. I think Sri Lanka put up a
Yeah.
decent fight in the first test. So
Yeah, the ball changed. Like that's where the game changed. Like Angelo Matthews was saying the same thing, that the minute the ball changed, because they didn't have a slighter older balls, so ball change के बाद से they got a bit of movement and game में वापस घुस गए England.
Yeah, and Sri Lanka do have a decent record, I think, in Lords. Where they've done during the Sangakkara days also. So let's see how they. I think they did a decent job in that first test. Like hopefully this time will be a bit more competitive, and if they win, that's not bad for cricket. But from England's point of view, they'll need to win this. I think they have to keep their hopes up for that WTC final. So उस हिसाब से they need to win all their home games. फिर they have to win those away series in New Zealand and Pakistan. So I think this win will give them more confidence going in there, and it'll give them hopes कि भाई we can still qualify, and that's what they'll have to look at. They're still missing their captain, Mr. Ben Stokes, but Ollie Pope is there. He's done a good job so far in his absence, and yeah, they'll be looking to making it 2-0. I think there's a third test match too. So like if they can make it 2-0, it'll have the WTC rating, and they can take it from thereafter. I think like you mentioned, Jamie Smith is
Yeah.
he's done really well for them, and I'm interested to see how Gus Atkinson, Matthew Potts, how they bowl in tandem along with Ollie Stone and Chris Oakes, because this is a new kind of look, right? England bowling attack, and they will be challenged more when they go abroad, when they go to Pakistan and think, because Anderson brought to they have that experience.
Mm.
Mark would also, but these guys are a bit new, so let's see how they perform here against Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka can target them and put them under pressure too. So I think it should be an exciting contest, and looking forward to that second test tomorrow between England and Sri Lanka.
Yeah, 100%. That's pretty much all that we've covered today. Like we mentioned, India, England, and Sri Lanka start tomorrow. Pakistan, Bangladesh again. That's going to be fierce to look because जो जीते हैं and Shakib का थोड़ा बहुत doubt में था खेलेगा नहीं खेलेगा because apparently there's an allegation of murder on him.
Yes.
But that is still yet to be proven until guilty or whatever, guilty until proven, and they're going to go with that. He's given the green light to play on Friday, so he'll be mostly participating in that second test at Rawalpindi. But मजा आएगा. Let's just see how Pakistan fight back. Shan Masood, I'm pretty sure जितना उन बात करते before the tour that we're looking to play this, that. Now it's time to put your bat where your mouth is and
Yeah,
start.
exactly. I mean, his press conferences are much easier to listen to, and his flow is good. Like, he has to replicate that into wins on the
As a
field.
captain,
And
you need to lead by example as well, right? Like I'm not saying Babar was the best captain, or he has the best batsman at that time, but at least he made a considerably good contribution in certain times, even though if it was against weaker opposition. But Shan Masood is just to deliver for Pakistan as
yeah,
captain
100%. Especially in this series, I think against Bangladesh, you expect runs off his bat.
in a road, on a road, of course, and where you
Yeah.
declared first.
Even
That was
Babar also has to step up, and
yes,
like Babar,
100.
like
Babar, though, yeah, 100%. No, like excuses for the talent that they like we've seen, and the talent that apparently the numbers dictate he should have been right now, like probably hitting what is one hit.
yeah, exactly. Like I think his numbers need to improve. Otherwise, it won't help Pakistan cricket. It won't help him either. There will be talks of him to being dropped if he continues his form like this. So like he needs to score runs immediately, ASAP. And bade tours are रहे हैं अभी, like they have England coming there, then they have to go to South Africa, and if Babar can regain his form on those tours and play against score runs against those opposition, then he'll be back in the mix of things. He'll be back in, like it'll help his own confidence, and it'll help Pakistan as well. Win games and stuff when Babar score runs. So, and where better to start than on a road at home, man, against Bangladesh. I think like he can get runs here, then he can restart his क्या बोलते उसको restart his career and restart his batting form and whatever you want to call it.
And I think he just needs to play with them without ज़्यादा दिमाग में नहीं घुस के खेलना. He needs to play with a freer mind. He doesn't need to think about runs. It will come naturally because he has the talent. He just gets caught up in his mind. I think the more he stays out of his own head, बोलते ना, sometimes the biggest challenge to someone is his own self and his own head. So I think he just needs to play with a freer mind, and then I think he'll be fine. And like you said, mistakes में जो out हो रहा mid on पे edges, and I think that's what it is. Shah needs to take control and stop allowing Babar is the one taking leadership in the field. Yeah, I mean,
That's a good observation, because I didn't. I watched the fifth day and the fourth day, a bit of the first day. I didn't watch the whole test match like properly. I will watch this one hopefully the full 5 days. I was not too well last week, so I didn't see. But I think I didn't see that. But if you're observing Ibrahim Bhai, I take your word for it that they were maybe interfering with the field placements and all that. Then then 100% I agree with you that he needs to take control and make sure that he's the captain, the leader. And yes, you can always ask people for advice. वो कोई problem नहीं है. But it has to develop naturally. You see Virat Kohli in the beginning, he was quiet and everything. Why? Because he didn't want to impose himself on Rohit Sharma and like make it look like I'm still the leader, I'm still the captain. But then what happened naturally, Rohit Sharma started going to Virat Kohli, started asking for advice, and then Virat Kohli got involved. If you see now, cut to 2024 World Cup, Virat Kohli was involved in decisions on the field. He was going to Rohit Sharma, he was in his ear. But that happened gradually because they built that comfort level. So when you're in a position and somebody else takes over that position, but you're in the same company, you have to give that leader, the current leader, the freedom, no matter what. Even if you don't like being sacked as captain, you got to give the guy freedom, and then naturally that guy will come to you and ask for advice because you have the experience, right? So that's what I think. India is a good example in that way, and I think that's what Babar should also learn, and Shan Masood as well. Of course, you don't want to look like a guy saying, okay, I'm the captain, screw you, not captain anymore. But Babar should also understand, Shah should also understand that, bhai, there's a new captain. Yes, you can take advice, but like the main decisions he needs to take. I think that's what.
Sorry to yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, but like even Australia is a good reference. Steve Smith ka, right? Steve Smith I think he's a very good captain. He knows how to change the fields and everything like that. But he only does it when Pat Cummins is not there or when Pat Cummins is bowling. Otherwise, it's Pat Cummins who's making those decisions. So I think that transition is very important. Where you're theek hai, like aage jaake you can contribute and everything, but initially let the new guy take control and say it's his team, and then like because he'll give him confidence and naturally he'll come to you. As an ex-captain, he'll come to you, he'll ask you for advice, and then you can give your advice. There's no harm in that at all.
Yeah, 100%. And like on the matter of leadership in the field, I don't think Babar should talk. Like he is one of the worst captains in terms of field placements. Like we've seen that in the Asia Cup, we've seen that in the World Cup. He always misses out on key areas in the T20 World Cup where that they lost the game. Haris said off the last ball. I don't think he's in a position to say anything in that. And Rizwan equally, like yes, Multan Sultan is a different story. But when it comes to international cricket, I don't think he has enough experience.
देखो क्या है मालूम फैज कोई भी रहने दो सीनियर प्लेयर है, हम लोग भी जब हम खेलते क्रिकेट या फुटबॉल हम लोग भी देते, ये तो होने वाला, आप रोक नहीं सकते वो, लाइक अगर मैं कैप्टन हूँ, आप ना कैप्टन है ना वाइस कैप्टन है ना कुछ भी, आप खाली प्लेयर है, बट यू फील दैट यू वांट टू टेल मी समथिंग, यू विल डू इट, लाइक दैट हैपेंस. It's about how you no, but like कौन सा, like there's no time tell, like match में कभी भी pressure आता है कोई भी कुछ बोल देंगे, but now it's as the captain how he handles that information, and don't let it affect his decision. Don't leave decision making. You should still make a decision, right? You can come and tell me, look, it'll happen. It might piss me off that you're in my ear all the time, but then I'm the captain. I will make the decision whether I want to take your advice or not. Then, and you have to, as a player, you have to respect that. As a captain, I also have to respect you, and then I make that decision. So I think that's what you have to look at. ये तो आप रोक नहीं सकते, right? कोई भी आके उन्हें अगर आप कोई भी कैप्टन हो कौन सी भी क्रिकेट टीम के, आपको आके लोग बोलेंगे कान में, like
और इंडिया पाकिस्तान में तो बहुत ही ज्यादा obviously because of the love of cricket and stuff like that. And again I do understand that they also have eyeballs, they're also playing the match and they're also giving their observations, but yeah, probably better way to comment it and not dictate it, at least tell your captain in between
you should also accept as a player कि भाई मैं बोल दिया उसको जो बोलना था, अब उसकी मर्जी है उन्हें लिया या नहीं लिया, आप दिल पे नहीं लेना. अगर आप बोले कि भाई पंडर को बॉलिंग दो, मैं बोला कि नहीं मैं आशीष को दूंगा ओवर, that means I listened to you but I made my decision. That's my decision. You should respect that as a player, and I should respect that you gave me your suggestion.
Yeah, at the end, there's always going to be one right and one wrong, but sometimes you will get it right, sometimes he'll get it right.
Yeah, exactly. वही है, right? Like आप जो call लेते हैं as a captain, that is a 50-50 call always. Like it's not going to be 100% correct and this and that. Yes, the information that you have, you should register as much as you have, and then उस हिसाब से you make that call. You shouldn't just अंधा make calls, but then you respect it. ही गलत है मगर कप्तान का कॉल है, कप्तान अगर है तो he has to take the responsibility, and you should also let him take that decision. Like you shouldn't be enforcing yourself all the time.
100%, I agree with that completely. But it will be fun to see what Pakistan does in the second test, and if Bangladesh can win back-to-back tests probably for the first time in Pakistan and submit. Finally, जितना criticism मिल रहा था Bangladesh board को, they did have a change in personnel as well, new Bangladesh chairman as well for cricket board. तो देखते हैं अभी आगे जाके क्या करने वाले बांग्लादेश, बट it's become a good interesting second test right now. So after this defeat for Pakistan, so
100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean,
more
this series has come
spinner,
to life.
and yeah, like it's come to life spinning. Will they be more spinner friendly? Does it flatten out? It will be more fun to see, and I think it should be a little bit challenging. I don't think Pakistan is helping their own cricket. अगर आप ऐसे wickets बना रहे हो जहाँ पे flat roads, आपके ना batsmen flat roads पे 100 मार पा रहे, like apart from Rizwan and South Africa. And for me, South Shakil right now is probably one of the better Test cricketers in Pakistan than a lot of people. Back to back, I've seen him, uh, help Pakistan get out of problematic situations. We've seen South Shakil last year also against England. He stood up well in Pakistan. So I mean, he's a very good cricketer, I think, in
वो
terms of.
एक्सक्यूज चले गया राइट फैज की भाई देखो आप लाइक यहाँ पे आप रोड पे मैच हार गए, ड्रॉ
हार
भी
गए
नहीं किया।
इंग्लैंड के
ड्रॉ
अगेंस्ट याद है आपको रॉबिन्सन का जो डिलीवरी था बाबर
या वहां पे भी आप 3 मैचेस हारे रोड पे। तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अगर ठीक है आप ऐसे कंडीशंस लेके आ रहे हैं, you're defensive or whatever, it only works if you're winning or you're at least drawing. If you're losing, how does you cannot justify a thing. You're saying ki bhai, on a tricky wicket we're going to fail, but you won't know until you try. Maybe your bowlers outperform the other bowlers because this is not working for you like a victory
बिल्कुल
wise, right? You're not winning. अब इंडिया जो है, I like there's always debate on the dust balls ki bhai ball once a turn or this is not correct, this and that, and India do lose at times, but when they do lose we say ki bhai kyun banaya aisa wicket, acha wicket banao 4-5 run ka, but more often than not India win on spinning tracks. That's why they continue to go with that. So make tracks where theek hai, if you lose, but at least majority of the time you have a good chance of winning as well, right?
होम एडवांटेज का फायदा उठाना भाई, होम एडवांटेज में आके आप ऐसे
वही
विकेट
तो है।
बनाना
मैं समझ सकता हूँ अगर आप ये फ्लैट पिचेस पे जीत रहे तो आप हार रहे हैं। प्रॉब्लम तो यही है, ड्रॉ भी नहीं हो रहा मैच। आप ड्रॉ भी करे तो मैं ठीक है, मैं खामोश बैठ जाता था कि आप डर रहे हैं हारने से डर रहे, मगर एटलीस्ट आप नहीं हार रहे हैं, राइट? दैट्स वन टिक। यहाँ पे कोई टिक ही नहीं है, देयर इज नो लाइक पॉजिटिव इन इट। यू लॉस्ट अ गेम ऑन अ फ्लैट ट्रैक, सो वेयर इज दैट योर एडवांटेज? एंड ये रमीज राजा की भी गलती है भाई। उन्होंने आके, याद है ऑस्ट्रेलिया के टाइम पे जब चेयरमैन थे, he said आपको बाबर के 100 नहीं देखना है क्या, ये देखना है आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम है, ये विकेट से ये वो।
आप जब बाहर जाओगे तब ऑटोमेटिकली स्ट्रगल करोगे क्योंकि हर जगह।
मगर मसला एग्जैक्टली मगर मसला ये है कि आप यही कंडीशन पे स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं, तो लॉजिक किधर है? यही तो मसला मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि आप जो बोल रहे बिल्कुल सही है, मगर उससे पहले भी एक कोर्स है जहाँ पे आप फेल हो रहे हैं, जहाँ पे
सेल्फ कोर्स में भी आप सेल्फ खुद का भी कोर्स जो है आप उसमें प्रोग्रेस नहीं करे तो आप आगे जाके so again we have to question the PCB, their conditions.
And yeah, exactly. It's not just the conditions, bro. Like the team is performing pathetically. That's what they look at.
Even on a domestic circuit, how are the players? I don't see the Pakistan players traveling like Indian players. जैसे under 19 भागते वहाँ भागते हैं, जाते होंगे maybe, but development कुछ हो रहा नहीं है. They're not observing different conditions and come. Look at Afghanistan in the other part of the world, like other country. वो लोग के कितने प्लेयर जा रहे बाहर लीग खेले, वो कल्चर वापस लेके आ रहे, समझा रहे कि भाई, and they're putting it to effective use. Maybe even for just one format, but they played well in the West Indies, they played well in India, they played well in Afghanistan, they played well in Dubai, which is their temporary home. So you need to understand, जो भी आप इंफॉर्मेशन ला रहे हो वापस आप आके अपने बोर्ड में बोलो, अपने कोचेस को बोलो, या कोचेस जो भी जाते हैं, they need to do the scouting. There's no development. अगर आप देखोगे अभी ऐसे चलते जाएगा पाकिस्तान की क्रिकेट, everyone going to just play on a flatter track. ये फैसलाबाद में भी जो वनडे कप चैंपियनशिप हो रही है, I don't think it's going to be crazy wickets. So maybe they either look at the possibility of sending them for more abroad tours, or maybe sending domestic region.
You have to improve your domestic structure. The problem is every president comes, he changes the rules. तो आपका स्ट्रक्चर ही नहीं बन रहा। आपको याद है 2004-5 में वो T20 सीरीज चलता था, सियालकोट स्टैलियंस, कराची, उसमें अब्दुल रज़ाक, शोएब मालिक, इन लोग सब खेलते थे। कितना अच्छा टूर्नामेंट होता था वो, like it was a T20 tournament and it was all domestic talent, all Pakistan can. We used to see so many players, so many people, current and past and future, all playing together in that tournament. And there is no tournaments like that anymore. They don't have a proper domestic structure. Their teams keep going and coming. The rules keep changing in terms of regarding domestic cricket in Pakistan. So they need to establish that first. Then they have to develop an A team, like you said, get that A team tour. They have to work on their under-19 system as well. So there's a lot of work to be done, of course. And then also the current team, they need to improve their skills. They need to improve their current form, and they need to, because they are international cricketers. End of the day, they have won games in the past for the country. They have to remain consistent, I think.
Everyone, I saw a picture of again. We can't trust that green top. It could be like whatever. I mean, green grass.
Well,
अगर
that's
कोई
what it
बहुत
means. It looks similar to the last one where it's green and then it'll become flat, basically.
That's what it could be fake grass, it could be anything. And yeah, I mean, again, you need to take a bit of risk. Aga Salman is not a spinner. You need to get some spinning option. Abrar को ला लिया, अबरार को निकाल के पाकिस्तान नहीं भेजे थे, फिर वापस ला लिया अबरार को and Khurram को. So they both are now back into the Pakistan squad for this test. I think there are going to be some substantial changes that you'll be able to see. Uh, yeah, I mean, probably one of the fast bowlers sitting down for sure. And let's see. I mean, आगे जाके क्या ही होगा.
And this time around, feels like they don't have a excuse for preparation, injuries, this and that, because they didn't give NOC to a lot of the big players, who especially like the likes of Babar, Shaheen, Rizwan, जो Test cricket खेल रहे, उन लोग को NOC नहीं दिए थे, तो they've been at home, they're preparing and everything, so they don't have an excuse of they're tired, fatigued, or anything like that. They need to basically just get better results, and hopefully we see that in the second test. Otherwise, there will be. I think Shan's job will go, man, if they lose this series. That's how I look at it. Shaheen तो नहीं हुआ.
शाहीन के तो चले गए, अब शान की जाती की नहीं जाती.
Yeah, so I don't think it'll be the correct call, but because I think थोड़ा बहुत तो gap दो आप, मगर अगर उन्हें झाड़ गया तो
it's going to be a repetitive process even if they take out Shan. They need to clear it up from the root all the way up till the top branch. They have to make a very considerable amount of
basically, I think
diversify your formats, diversify players,
players,
play domestic players, start giving them opportunities in small tours and stuff, so that you have a wider base in your own national side. Like India, you see how big of a wider option they are. They have a whole buffet of players. Ruturaj को कभी फेंक देंगे ला लेंगे, संजू को फेंक देंगे ला लेंगे. They have so many now. Abhishek Sharma and so you have to have a wide spread of players in your
even
national.
Pakistan had, but for the longest time under the
We
Babar.
haven't seen anyone.
Because Babar used to play that similar 11, right? Like that's the problem. They had like a lot of players. We saw now we're seeing like Saim Ayub, Sao Shakil. इन्हें था कौन था यार, अभी उसको भिजा दिए ए टीम के लिए फरहान जो है
साहबजादे
Farhan, उन्हें like उसको उन्हें कहाँ चले गए, like he was good, they gave him a few games and निकाल दिया. He was one of the most consistent performers in domestic cricket. So they need to bring him back. They need to try these players. They have players, but they're not giving the opportunities. जैसा बोले अबरार भी है वहाँ पे, उसको खिलाई नहीं जब जरूरत थी. तो I mean the captain.
आप even in the World Cup T20 आजम खान को बिठा दिए थे इंग्लैंड में, एक आध मिस्टेक कर दिया था, फिर आजम खान played the first game, then he didn't perform. Then they sat down, they got in another wicket keeper.
And they did all that thing with Saim Ayub, the whole thing, and then when push came to shove, pehla game of the World Cup, Rizwan Babar went to open. I think that was the biggest stab in the back. You're saying you just cheated the whole fan base by saying I'm trying something different. I'm gonna not just play my players or whatever. And Sam को बिठा के Rizwan को open करा दिया. I think that was thing. And that's what I meant. Like the structure keeps changing because the chairman keeps changing. Like that's exactly what my point is. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, Ramil Raja was trying to implement a similar system of 6 teams. Then Sethi came and changed it to 18 to the old 18 team system.
And also the thing is, at that time Ramiz Raja utna usko criticize nahi kar rahe the because Pakistan was doing well in especially in one-day T20 cricket. Like in T20 cricket, they were doing well. They were making knockouts and everything. But at that time, he should have been questioned. Particularly on his approach against Australia and stuff at home. It was a very timid approach. A team like Pakistan, they have that bowling attack which can go toe to toe with Australia, but you need to play on conditions where you can produce a result. If you're gonna go with the dead roads and stuff like that, then it just shows that you don't have the willingness to win, and it gives the wrong impression. और ये जो teams है Australia, England, उन लोग एक second में आपका they can see what you're sensing and they will pounce on that. If you give Ben Stokes as captain, went there, he saw it's a road, he knew exactly what to do as captain, and he did the job, bro. 3-0. He got 3 results on basically roads where it's supposed to be a draw. He got results on all 3 of them. So when you give these foreign players, foreign teams a sense that you're a bit scared, they will pounce on you. You have to attack them like Rohit Sharma did. Rohit Sharma, credit to him and Rahul Dravid, that series, they lost the first game. But they didn't have Virat Kohli. They didn't have, I think, a few players. Their batting order, Rahul nahi tha. There was quite a few players not there. They had to play Sarfaraz, Jurel and these guys. Pant was in there too. But what did he do? He looked to attack, continued to look to attack. And at the end, he played on his strengths, which were his spinners and himself as a batsman. And they beat England. England collapsed, right? So you have to attack them. If you show them that, okay, Kohli nahi hai, we're going to change the pitches, then it's not going to work like that, right? You have to continue to look to attack. Yes, in Hyderabad, they got outplayed in the second innings by Ollie Pope. He completely changed the whole game. But
Hmm.
you respect the opposition there, you give them the credit, come back next year, continue to attack. That's what India did well, and Pakistan need to learn from that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for them again, I think any board member, if who will chairman ka jo situation will only change if some chairman has the like the luxury of like an ML Dhoni what he had when he became the captain.
Exactly.
So if someone comes in, wins the World Cup or a considerable big trophy, then they'll probably get the backing of the fan support, and then that is when someone will be able to stick and do one thing for a longer term. वरना आप एक term में बदलते गए, तो it will be a very difficult process because everyone is not
बिल्कुल.
the same personality. So someone like an ML Dhoni guy who has that kind of favor where he wins the World Cup on his first attempt or a considerable big tour, फिर उनको बैकिंग ही मिल सकती है वरना तब तक तो यही एजेंडा चलने वाला है फॉर पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट व्हिच इज नॉट good even from a neutral point of view because you want to see any team thrive, right? Like at least play good cricket,
बिल्कुल.
where you've seen potential. But yeah, I think we've covered all bases for now. Tomorrow we will go towards Sri Lanka, England, and whatever news comes out of cricket, hopefully, maybe some other news that will probably come out of the IPL, the Champions Trophy, and everything yet to come. Then Friday, all set for the second test between Pakistan and Bangladesh in Rawalpindi. But thank you, Ibrahim bhai, for joining us, Ashish who joined us, and everybody else who was watching. Make a comment अगर आपको लग रहा है, you want to watch something specific or you can add to the chat. We always love conversations and stuff around cricket, as you can see. So definitely आप कभी भी आओ, suggestion डालो, comment डालो. It's always good to talk cricket. But yes, the Shah era has started probably from December 2024. We're going to be waiting and seeing what implications come out of there, and what decisions will be finally made for the Champions Trophy, for the future of cricket around the world, and then the Olympics in the coming years. But till then, everyone, take care of yourself. And yeah, thank you so much, Mustafa, for joining me.
Thank you.
Everybody, yes, have a nice day. Bye bye.